the second to last race of the season to determine the championship four. Clay Campbell shows us the green flag for racing in Martinsville. The 11 dives down to the curbing.
Yeah, Denny trying to get to that low line. Harvick jumps to the outside. See if he can make some ground up on the high side.
Instant reaction. The 11 looks just fine to me. Running through the corners, Denny Hamlin fashion right around that curve.
See, Kevin Harvick stuck on the outside, was not able to get down. Dave Burns and I had a conversation this morning. A lot of concern in the pit area about running too many laps on the outside. That could hurt your tires. We saw that here in the spring.
Let me ask you a question, Steve. The 11 car drives up here and takes the lead. Do you even worry about taking that thing out of there?
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. If it's driving good, we're going to worry about it when we get home to figure out if it's still in there or not.
And now, looking to the inside, Martin Truex Jr. Must-win situation for the 19 team. Can he take it away? Watch as Martin Truex Jr., if he does get the lead here for Brad Keselowski, what it will do to the points.
Hamlin dives down into the inside of the 88, contact with the 2.
Real aggressive move by Hamlin right there, following.
Still aggressive into the back of the 2 car, moves him up the racetrack. Denny into second place.
There comes Denny. And look at how close it is. Now Brad Keselowski 1 point ahead of the 4 of Kevin Harvick. We wouldn't have even thought he would be in the question of not being able to make it into the championship 4.
Shocking to see the Penske car struggling here. They are known for that early run speed. Right now, the Gibbs cars, though, had that speed in first and second position. Kurt Busch in third.
Junior, does it surprise you? That seemed like a message early from the 11 of Denny Hamlin to the 2 of Brad Keselowski. We're only 5 laps in. We are not driving around here easy all day long. We're going to be aggressive.
That definitely sets the tone for the rest of the race. That's how he's going to race. That's how he's going to race the 2 at least. Look at the damage to the 2 car on the quarter panel there.
Yeah, I think the 2 car also, he was pretty aggressive in the block. You know, he didn't give Denny Hamlin any room whatsoever. Getting into turn 1, really pinched him down big time, trying to get that bottom spot. So both of those drivers, in my opinion, early set the stage.
Take another look at what happened. Why there's a little bit of a wrinkled fender there on the 2.
Denny drives to the inside of the 88 here. I don't think that Keselowski or his spotter expected Denny to get that far up to the quarter panel of the 2 car. Then down here in turn 1, Denny just leans on it a little bit. That's typical Martinsville right there. Send the guy up the racetrack. Easy way to get the spot.
Joey Logano coming up here and challenging for second now as he gets to the inside of the 9. The 9 and the 2 looking for an opening somewhere.
Denny Hamlin's going to force it down here inside of the 88 for 5th place. A little beating and banging right there between those 2. Right behind him, Ryan Blaney trying to become part of this battle. Blaney's had a pretty good run today.
What the 11 learned, I think the 11 learned you don't want to drive around with the travel packer in because the car looks a lot better now that they're taking it out.
Impressed for the 9 of Chase Elliott. He's able to dive back behind the 19. He was able to clear the 22 of Logano.
Love that bumper cam on the 11, looking right at the left rear quarter panel of the 2. Look at this. There's already some damage on the bumper of the 2 from an earlier accident or contact with this car. Let's see if it'll be a little cleaner this time. And look to the left, that red and white curving, guys. You know as drivers, that will upset your car if you touch it. Like that.
Bumped it right there. Sends the car up the racetrack just a little bit. Takes away a little bit of momentum he has down the straightaway.
You want to see what Denny Hamlin's doing right here. You want to be on that left front tire. Right on that curve. Oh, got a wreck in 1 and 2.
Clint Boyer in the 14 and Austin Dillon in the 3 have been collected. Boyer in his final start here at Martinsville. He'll be in the TV booth in 2021.
Looks like a little contact to the left rear of that car. I wonder if that's how this all got started. Clint was having a reasonable run in that first 50 laps of the race up to the competition yellow. Had some good fast laps. A lot of damage right there. Looks like he's trying to block somebody from making a pass to the inside. His teammate. Eric Almirola says, no, sir.
Not my teammate next year. I don't have to be nice.
They were 12th and 15th. And so Clint Boyer goes on a little bit of a ride. Austin Dillon nowhere to go. Chase Elliott right up against the curb.
Trek's going to have an opportunity here to get into second place.
Denny Hamlin, you see back there, he's making it 3 wide on the bottom.
Clint Boyer sends his teammate up the racetrack 4 wide. A lot of contact back there in the pack.
Yeah, I think that was maybe because of that accident from earlier.
Absolutely.
They're still 4 wide, trying to settle it out here as they go to 1.
Look what that did for Denny Hamlin. He's already in 3rd place with new tires. When Clint moved Eric, it just created a huge hole for Denny.
So now pressure being put on the 9 of Chase Elliott by Martin Truex Jr. in the 19. Here comes Denny Hamlin in the 11. Fresher tires on that car.
Where you're going to see how much more grip new tires have right here on corner exit.
Dives into turn 3 to the inside of the 19. Hamlin trying to take second away.
Truex needs to fall in behind him as quickly as he can. It's all about making lap time now. 18 to go. You just got to try to get as few people as possible to pass you.
And stage point's huge for the 11 of Denny Hamlin. He's trying to take the lead now from Chase Elliott.
Yeah, these points can kind of somewhat separate him between himself and Brad Keselowski in the points. They battle it out right now, around 3rd and 4th in points.
Yeah, Kevin Harvick all the way down in 16th place right now.
Take a look at what was going on with that restart. Clint Boyer sent his teammate up the racetrack. 4 wide, a lot of contact with the 47 here. These guys have went all the way to the back of the pack. Clint says, hey, you remember that issue in turn 1 and 2 where he sent me around? Caution's out on the racetrack.
Caution.
Got a car
out.
Spun out in turn 4, the 51.
Double-0 just stopped us.
Joey Gase, and Joey doesn't appreciate Quinn Houff right now as the 00 is driven by Quinn.
I think we're going to see contact.
I think there might be.
Jeff, I think you're going to see contact.
Well, let's see if he was right. Yeah, he was right.
And they were all alone on the racetrack,
they
so
were-
obviously Quinn had some intention there.
They were the last 2 cars on the racetrack in line there, and that's what's great about Martinsville. These guys typically kind of just run their own race and try to stay out of trouble, but everybody gets a little bit out of shape here in Martinsville. I don't care what car you're driving, where you're at on the racetrack.
So now, was that caution an advantage to the 9 and the 19 on old tires, or a disadvantage? Because now it brings everybody closer to them.
Jeff, I'd pit. If I'm Martin Truex Jr., I'm coming to pit road. It's not about points. It doesn't matter. You know you're getting another yellow in 10 laps. You're going to get another 10 or 12 cars to pit again. You can leapfrog those. You're on the wrong end of this pit strategy right here. Another caution's coming in inside of 15 laps. You're going to have to pit at that point. You're going to give up all your track position. Just do it now and hope at the end of the stage you get maybe 10 free spots.
What about the 9 and Chase Elliott? He's chasing points a little bit more than Martin.
Yeah, when I look at where the 9 is on points, I can make the argument that he needs to stay out and get points. So I think he stays out. The 19, he pits. There's just not a pathway forward for Martin Truex Jr. on points. I would pit right here, but they're going to choose to stay out. I don't like this call for the 19.
And again, a new crew chief on top of the box in 2021, James Small, calling the shots for the 19 team. He stays out. Enough's enough. Well, Joey Logano's only going to take it for so long. Right now, Denny Hamlin surging ahead. Under 10 laps to go at Martinsville for stage 1.
Alex Bowman in that blue 88 car with new tires. That's what he wanted to see. He wanted to see the 9 pull down in front of the 19. He was able to get it. Now he's battling for 3rd.
Bowman, another one of those drivers, must-win situation. 8 in the round of 8. Playoff drivers all fighting to be in the top 4 in points or a win get you into the championship 4 for next week's championship race.
Brad K to the inside of the 19 car. Alex Bowman goes around his teammate for second place. Puts Chase Elliott back in third. New tires coming through the pack. Logano to the inside of the 19. Truex just having to give him a little bit of room here. Doesn't want any contact.
Still early in this race. Coming up, and there's some more contact between the 22 and 19.
Truex fighting hard on this outside. He's been kind of letting most of these guys go, but at some point he's got to kind of maintain some sort of track position. Joey's like, man, you letting them all go. Why are you racing me so hard? Now the 18 car not going to be able to get on the inside of his teammate. Maybe letting him get back in line.
See that 18 car Kyle Busch, what he did, hit it very high. Was able to try to get under the 19. Wasn't able to make it happen.
Wonder how hard he'll race here to get around the 19. He said he felt bad for beating him last week. Denying him that opportunity to lock himself into the championship final. Here's the 2 car going to the inside of the 9. Man, I thought Brad was going to slide up the racetrack here a little bit. Looked a little free getting in the corner. You could see it cost him on corner exit.
If you're Brad Keselowski, you know Chase Elliott has older tires. You feel like you should be able to make this pass immediately. Chase doing a great job putting up a battle.
He is.
Right here is where Chase gets a good run on corner exit, but not good enough this time. Brad's got the spot.
He's definitely in the preferred line. Has position on the 9. Teammate Joe Logano going to try to fill that hole.
That'll be third for Brad Keselowski. That's the fight.
Here comes the 22. 9's going to get a great run off the corner, though. Be able to survive and keep that position from Joey. Joey, the high entry. He's going to turn across the center of the corner here and try to get under the 9 at the 9. Keeping it low on corner exit.
Yeah, Chase Elliott's doing a nice job of checking everybody's speed right in the middle of the corner. Right here. That slows the momentum down from the 22, but this time Logano's going to take it.
Got to run. Last lap of stage 1. Can Logano make the pass? Logano, a guaranteed spot in the championship 4. Chase Elliott, not so much. Needs every point he can get.
Chase Powers back in front of the 22. He's going to give him the bottom here.
The 11 with his 11th stage win of 2020.
Great fight for Chase Elliott to finish 4th. That was, he just got up on the wheel and made that happen.
Gaining points, valuable points. Alex Bowman, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr. finishes 6th. Busch brothers making up row 1. Kurt Busch on the outside, a great restart. Trying to clear his younger brother on the inside.
This is that moment we talked about at the top of the show. Regardless of your strategy, you would be in traffic. So now the Busch brothers are out front battling for the lead, but all the front runners from earlier are mired back in traffic.
How about this Rookie of the Year candidate? Cole Custer running up here in the 3rd spot.
Kurt Busch doing a really good job on the outside. Kyle just does not have the speed to really fend him off. I think lap after lap, though, is going to be an advantage to Kyle on the bottom, but you would have thought by now Kyle could have cleared Kurt on the outside.
Jeff, what a week last week was to Kyle Busch in the 18 car, finally going to victory lane. He made it known that he did not want to lose his winning streak in 15 seasons. He won last week, went to 16. He said those closing laps were the most nervous laps of his career. This is from a guy that's won 2 champions. So he knows how to close the deal out. Look at this, Richard Petty at 18, Pearson with 17. And I mean, I don't see why Kyle Busch won't win the next few years, so I think he can continue to climb this list.
Yeah, one of the greatest, could put his name at the top of the list, amongst the greatest. As his brother just passed him.
Had he not won this year, he would have been the 3rd champion, defending champion, to go winless. Benny Parsons after his 73 championship, and my father after his 1980 championship went winless the following season.
I would have lost that Jeopardy question.
Well, and he wouldn't, I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted to been on that list, but those are some pretty good names to join too, actually.
You don't want to join every list.
Yeah. So we talk so much about, the 9 leading and the 19 leading. Let's not forget the 1 of Kurt Busch is in the same situation, currently leading. That puts him into the championship 4 at Phoenix. With the 11 and the 2 currently, the 4 of Kevin Harvick. I can't imagine if Kevin Harvick leaves here not in the championship 4, Marty.
And yes, the points is a little bit of trouble there with the 17 car, Chris Buescher. And I'm not sure if that's going to bring out a caution. Looks like it might, guys. But yes, the points on the left are correct. Kevin Harvick below the cut line. Right now, Harvick sitting in 25th position as the caution comes out, Rick.
Yeah, we're going to have another restart, and you see damage to the 17, lot to the front.
Down in turn 1 and 2, those guys, there was a lot of contact between him, Daniel Suarez, a few other people. Looks like that he's got so much damage on the nose, he's broke something up there in the cooling. So Daniel gets down here, a lot of chain reaction, getting in the back of each other, and the 17 runs in the back of the 96 and breaks something on the front end of that car. It's dropping fluid.
Once again out here at Martinsville as Chase Elliott on the inside, Martin Truex Jr. on the outside. Both drivers coming in that were below the cut line, fighting to be a part of the championship 4. Chase Elliott as the leader. Now you see the playoff points on the left side. Logano with his win at Kansas. He's in the championship 4. Chase Elliott leading here. He's also trying to lock himself in. Denny Hamlin, enough points. Brad Keselowski, also enough points. Kevin Harvick, the struggles. He is below the cut line.
Martin Truex Jr. in that 19 car. Let Denny Hamlin go to pull back in front of the 1 car, so he didn't lose that spot.
What a job the drivers below the cut line are doing. We got Chase Elliott first, Truex third, Kurt Busch fourth, and Bowman sixth. The 4 guys that need to win all running in the top 6.
See Alex Bowman in that blue car. He is stuck on the outside of Joey Logano, desperately needing to clear Joey Logano because they are lined up underneath him. He cannot get down. He's going to lose potentially lose a lot of spots right here.
Doesn't want to get freight trained out there on that outside line as Ryan Blaney's going to fill the hole as well in the 12.
Oh, big run right here by Bowman. He's going to turn left, get to the bottom.
Blaney's going to try to put it in there. Actually cuts him a little bit of a break. Taps on the bumper right here in the middle of the corner.
Junior, that's a place where you just got to pull down there and hope he doesn't push you out of the way. It's really all you can do.
So, guys, I'm going to ask you guys, do you and did you race playoff cars differently? Is that Ryan Blaney saying, you know what, he's a playoff car, I'm going to cut him a little slack?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's unfortunate. You don't want to have to do that, but that's, it's the box you're in if you're not in the playoffs. I would say that, but also now if it's a guy who's trying to take a spot away from your teammate in the playoffs, then it's your obligation to race that guy. So if you can do anything to help one of your teammates by racing another competitor, then you race them really hard and hope that your boss is paying attention.
Bowman currently running 7th, Junior, and trying to move forward in that 88 car. Greg Ives' crew chief told me this morning, we've been moving forward on our short track program. Very pleased with what we've been doing there. And Alex, again, needing a win today. Tapped the wall earlier today. They pulled that damage away from the right side of the 88, and it's been pretty good since, trying to make his way toward the top 5, and maybe in stage 3 be in position to win.
Dave, you mentioned moving for the 88. It's been announced he will move to the 48, stay in the same organization, obviously, with Hendrick Motorsports, but also last week it was announced Kyle Larson will be taking over for that vacated ride that was at Hendrick Motorsports after Jimmy Johnson retires at the end of this year. He will drive the number 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports in 2021. Take a look at this.
Big battle back here between Kevin Harvick and John Hunter Nemechek. Kevin is needing this spot. He's been putting all kinds of pressure on John Hunter Nemechek, but Nemechek's not giving it to him. He keeps that battle up. He wants that spot. Just contact. Kevin Harvick just keeps pushing. Remember, Harvick has older tires on his right side. He only put left sides when they pitted.
Oh, look here. Harvick's like, hey, You gave me the flat tire, so I'm going to give you the bumper.
Well, he's got to go because he could get lapped. I mean, they could come around and lap him because he does not have very much speed.
I know he's got to go, but he doesn't have the speed these guys around him have. He doesn't have the tires. You mentioned the tires on his car. They're holding him back right now as he lost a lot of speed to the 38. Now the 20's right up behind him here, going to try to take the spot.
He's already, I don't know, half a lap, 3/8 of a lap from getting lapped. Marty.
And I think that's the concern for Rodney Childers is just, you know, that their leaders are coming, number one, but also there's another car one lap down, James Davidson. They want to make sure they stay in this free pass position before the caution comes out. But I think the biggest issue, Steve, is just the handling of the 4 car. I think that's the concern for Rodney Childers right now. You're right on board with Kevin Harvick right there in the center of the corner. He just says it won't go, and you see everybody just pulling away from the 4 car, center of the corner off. He says, we are absolutely struggling. So Rodney Childers has got to find a way to make this car better, clearly, for Kevin Harvick this afternoon.
Well, I talked about the respect at the front. Blaney showed Bowman. Well, back here in the back, they don't care that you've won 9 races. They don't care that you're the favorite to go to Phoenix. They're racing you. They're like, you got back here. This is your fault. You have old tires. 7-time champ Jimmy Johnson's, and I'm coming through. And to make it even worse for Kevin Harvick, is the 66, the last car in the lead lap, is really unable to keep up as well. He's about another straightaway behind Harvick as we see a battle towards the front with the 11 and the 19. And if that 66 goes a lap down, then Harvick won't be the only car 1 lap down.
Yeah, won't be in that free pass position because he wouldn't be scored as far in front as the 66 is right now. So that's the one thing that Kevin Harvick's got to worry about right now. Martin Truex Jr. in front of Denny Hamlin. Still Hamlin 31 points over that cut line because of the issues Kevin Harvick is having right now. Harvick 15 points below the cut line, a 9-time winner in 2020, potentially not making the championship 4. Right now leading up front is Chase Elliott in the 9. See Denny Hamlin fighting here with the 19. Martin Truex Jr. behind him. Hamlin trying to hold on to that 2nd spot. Truex Jr. trying to take it away.
And at 27 right there, the 11's going past. He's been lapped by the leader. That matters because being a lap down, Kevin Harvick no longer eligible for the free pass. So the 1 lap down battle continues for Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, he is now the 3rd car a lap down in the scoring monitor here. So Harvick, even at the end of this stage, when they know a caution's coming out, still not in the position for the free pass, and still he is fighting below the cut line. 19 points below the cut line now for Kevin Harvick.
I'm not sure they made this car much better either. Even if they get back in the lead lap, they're going to still have major changes they've got to make.
This is for 2nd.
Truex in the 19, right on the curve. Ooh, slips the right rear tire, almost gets into the side of the 11 car, Denny Hamlin. Down the front straightaway, I think Denny's going to probably let him have it here.
And you wonder if Denny Hamlin has been told about the troubles with the 4 car. If not, he's in full panic mode right now. Both cars are in front of him. Win this race and knock him out of the playoffs. Just wonder how much information he has.
Take a look at the Toyota driver update. Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin running 2nd and 3rd right now. And Martin Truex Jr., he's in a position where he's got to win the race if he wants to advance to the championship 4. So he's fighting to catch up to Chase Elliott. Marty.
And this battle between teammates Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. Hamlin kind of struggling with the handling. And to answer Jeff's question, yes, Chris Gabehart has kept Denny Hamlin updated on what's happening all around the track. And Denny said, quote, I don't care. And it was said in a way that he feels like he has the car that could win the race today, and all the other talk would be moot for him. He'll make it to the championship 4 as Ryan Blaney slips by. Meanwhile, his teammate Martin Truex Jr. says the car is much better on this run for the 19, and they have worked all evening long on that car being better on the long run. Problem is, he fell so far behind Chase Elliott with 4 to go, he's never going to catch him, but they have made the 19 better.
Rick, it's important to note that Chase Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr., why they're putting some great runs here with 4 laps to go. They do have roughly 20 lap fresher tires at Hamlin. This is just trying to get even on tires. I bring that up because at the end of stage 2, if all of these guys change tires, the majority only have 3 sets left. That is going to be a chess match for the crew chiefs to try to figure out when to put them on. Long runs, no problem. It's pretty straightforward. But if you get a bunch of 30-lap runs, man, it's just, when do you put them on?
This battle right here for 3rd place with Denny Hamlin and Blaney. Denny is fighting as hard as he can to keep this position. He's basically gave Blaney the entire bottom of the racetrack and is just running this really high line, trying to do all he can to get great drive off down the straightaway to defend that spot. Blaney's got to be getting frustrated. He's given plenty of racetrack, but just not able to get off the corner with the 11.
Under 2 laps to go in stage 2. Hamlin won the first stage, now fighting here with Ryan Blaney in that 12. Trying to keep that position. The 3rd spot.
Loose in. See him check the steering wheel.
The top 10 in the finish of this stage get points, and it's very important for these drivers as Chase Elliott is going to win stage 2. The green flag comes back out to start this final stage at Martinsville.
Now we have,
Yeah, big run on the outside by Truex.
I think we have the 2 best cars on the racetrack up front here battling for the lead.
Oh, Chase Elliott up the racetrack, almost into the side of Martin. I thought Truex was going to get the lead. Chase Elliott drove it way down into turn 3.
Martin Truex Jr. under a lot of pressure now for both the 1 and the 22.
Kurt Busch having a great run today in this number 1 Monster Energy Chevrolet for Chip Ganassi. Put a lot of, we talk a lot about how the 9 and 19 need to win, but he's putting himself in this position to also be a threat to win this race today in a must-win situation.
Just amazing that three of the drivers that pretty much had to win coming in here are both sitting there running 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Below the cut line, all 3 of these in the top 3. Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., and Kurt Busch, all putting themselves in position to win. Look at this, the 4 and the 11, the 2 most dominant cars in 2020, now back here running together, and the 4 potentially not making it into the championship 4.
The 4 is a lap down, hoping for a yellow. The 11 is still on the lead lap. But just look at the speed difference. We talk about the 4 needing a yellow, but he's just not fast even if he gets a yellow. Look how easily the 11 will go by. Nice and patient as requested by his crew chief, Marty.
And Kevin Harvick said on the radio a moment ago, we really haven't made the car that much better. Everything you've done has just made the car tighter. So Harvick right now in the free pass position, but different than the last few restarts. Right behind him, J.J. Yaley in the 27 car. They're also trying to fight for the free pass position. So Daly 2 cars back from Harvick and not any better with the handling on that 4 car. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin has moved up from the last car on the lead lap, now 27th. He's gained a couple of spots, and they keep preaching patience on the radio. They told Hamlin, listen, we still control our destiny. Don't force anything here. Long way to go.
Yeah, 226 laps to go. So yes, long ways to go.
Matt Kenseth and Bubba Wallace, big contact right in front of Denny Hamlin.
And Kevin Harvick would have liked more contact. He needs a caution. He needs it now.
Yeah, the patience runs out as this race goes on, like sands in an hourglass. It just runs out for all these drivers. And you see, that's exactly what you saw with Matt Kenseth. We're going to see more and more of that from everyone on the racetrack as we get further into this race.
Steve, right now, we see Kevin Harvick struggling. The possibility exists he could go 2 laps down. I would liken this to, and I don't want to bring up a sore subject, but your Patriots, when they were undefeated going into the Super Bowl, everybody's like, well, they're undefeated. They've got this great season. They're going to be Super Bowl champions. Well, a 9-time winner this year, Kevin Harvick, might not make the championship 4. It's like the #1 ranked team in the world doesn't make it to the championship race.
Yeah, and this is what makes sports wonderful. And you don't believe that if you're a Kevin Harvick fan. This is what makes sports awful. But this is why you have to watch every race, every lap, every game. If it's a different sport, nothing is guaranteed. Kevin Harvick had the success of the regular season to lean on, but it wasn't a guarantee. It was a little bit of a safety net, and unfortunately, currently, he's fallen through that safety net at 15 points below. And you mentioned it, as this lead battle continues between Elliott, Truex, and Blaney, they're also inching in on Kevin Harvick. 2 laps down makes it very difficult for him to gain points, and that's what it's all about. He's going to have to be in a position where he's expecting one of the guys in front of him to have trouble. That is not what Kevin Harvick wanted.
Truex was just putting the pressure on the 9 cars. They caught the lap traffic, but now he is feeling a ton of pressure from this 12 car. Ryan Blaney. Blaney got into the back of the 19, got into the left rear quarter panel a couple corners ago. Blaney's teammate Joey Logano right behind him. As they continue to work this lap traffic, it's really creating a lot of opportunities for this 12 car. Let's look at that contact. Truex around a little bit here. So the 19 gets up the racetrack just a little bit. Blaney says, that's a hole. I'm going in there. Not quite. The radiator fit, that's about it. But hey, man, that's Martinsville. That's what's so fun about racing here is you can do that to the guy in front of you, and he knows that's what it's all about. He's not going to pull over and try to turn you in the next corner.
So we've run 67 laps right here on this set of tires. That's the longest we've run all day long. Who has a good long run car? We really don't know, but we're finding out right now. It looks like Martin Truex's car is starting to fall off a little bit on this run as Chase Elliott's driven away from him.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Jeff, when we were on the in-car of the 9, how smooth his hands were. I thought the 19 had the better long run car, but maybe the 9 of Chase Elliott is just taking it a little bit easier on his race car, on his tires mainly, for this long run, and staying really consistent here through the traffic. And he's drove away from these guys. Truex trying to find a way around this 8 cars, put him on the high side here. That's an opportunity for Blaney to go to the inside. Blaney's going to have his teammate now on the right rear quarter panel. Who's this going to work out for? It's tough decisions to make. And it's really hard to lap, even the lap traffic on that higher side. Obviously, if you get to the inside of them, much simpler, much easier. Now, Blaney's going to get back in the back of the 8 car and be like, hey, man, I need to get by here. Going to actually slot in behind his teammate Joey Logano for turn 1 entrance.
But that second lane, that's something that we've seen that Denny Hamlin's been trying to do. Both those guys use that second lane to make that pass.
Truex back to the bottom of the 3 car, Austin Dillon.
And remember, the playoff picture changes completely if Chase Elliott or Martin Truex Jr. is not leading the race. Martin Truex Jr. has a 1.4-second lead over Ryan Blaney. Martin Truex Jr. needs to win if he wants to be a part of the championship 4. Points, though, right now, if you look at Denny Hamlin, he's plus 13. Kevin Harvick, right even now with Brad Keselowski as they run on the racetrack. And Chase Elliott is 10 points back, currently in 6th in the point standings. Dave?
So let's talk about Chase Elliott. 2 bad pit stops in a row for different reasons. One was corrected, one was not, and it has hurt this 9 car. So the question remains, do you want another pit stop? 1 fresh set of Goodyear tires remaining. They may have to come down to use them, or they may go green to the end, Marty.
Denny Hamlin happier with the car, sitting in 8th, and right now plus 13. Chris Gabehart's told him several times the entire picture. Right now, Hamlin is good on points. That's all he needs to know. Right where we're at, we're good, Dave.
Brad knows what he has to do. Brad Keselowski in that 2 car restarted 22nd all the way up to 13. This week, he tweeted about loving the grind. He has loved this racing grind, and now he's got to grind it out to the end here, Marty.
Top right of your screen, Kevin Harvick needs 1 point. And guess who he has to pass? Ryan Newman. Here's what he thinks about that.
Keep the power down to finish the pass. I know.
Harvick says, I can't get the power down to finish the pass, but this has been going on for 15 laps. He's been beside Newman, almost in front of Newman, and he cannot get around the 6. And right now, he is 1 point below the cut line, as you see, as Brad Keselowski just passed for 12.
I think one of the issues for Kevin Harvick also is his car just isn't as good as it needs to be, and he's having to push his car harder than he wants to. If we get a long run, he is killing these tires. That could really hurt him. He needs a caution here relatively quickly. I think he's going to just pay the price big time later in the run.
Here's a 2-car trying to get around the 21. Dive down into turn 3. I think that the 21 let him have that one, and that was the difference right now. But I think he continues to drive through the pack. This is a big problem for Harvick.
Big wreck in the middle of 3 and 4. The 24 of William Byron has made huge contact. The back of his car shortened up dramatically.
So the caution has come out. 12th caution
Left rear
of the night.
That's
William
about
Byron,
as hard as you hit at Martinsville.
Yeah, William Byron was running in the 14th spot when he backed it into the wall.
Some fluid running out. I don't know if that's fuel or oil.
51 laps to go.
Joy with a big launch. He's going to beat Truex down into turn 1. Truex, though, fighting back on the outside of this 32. Down the back straightaway, Truex is going to pull Corey LaJoie into turn 3. LaJoie up the racetrack a little bit. This is
no contact yet.
Here's
So the
Elliott's shot.
19 clears him.
3 wide down the front straightaway. Chase Elliott on the inside. Corey backs out.
And now the 9 up to second. Joey Logano is third.
And now Corey's in the outside lane, so he's on older tires, so that's going to hold that outside lane up.
Absolutely. Oh, they're just going to send him up the racetrack. Blaney had to do it.
Here comes
Skipped him out of the way.
Alex Bowman also in the 88. Look who's up front. Guys who have to win. Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, all in the top 4.
And the points battle between Harvick and Keselowski is the cut line. If one of those drivers do win, down to 4 points.
See this battle back here. There's the 32 car. Harvick's got to get to the bottom right here. Brad's got by him. Harvick's going to try to make it 3 wide.
Corey LaJoie is going to get black flag here. He left too soon. So he did not start in the restart zone. He went just before it. So NASCAR has posted the 32.
And battle for the lead. Cannot blame LaJoie for trying to make something happen right there on old tires. What the heck? Try something. See if it catch me.
Yeah. 9-car Chase Elliott's closing in on the back bumper of the leader. Well, he turns. Comes off real low. Great run down this front straightaway. He's going to have an opportunity to look inside.
So Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott.
Chase is there. Gives him a little tap.
They're fighting for the lead. Whichever one is not up front, they will be below the cut line.
Chase high again in the corner, cuts again. Down low, gets a straight run off. Has the momentum. Another opportunity to look to the inside of the 19.
You can hear him in the rev limiter right there. Getting such good rear grip.
Chase is there. Truex trying to pinch him off, keep him low.
Hey, remember Darlington? They battled late in that race. Contact.
Truex up the racetrack a little bit here.
Championship on the line this time.
Chase putting the pressure on Truex. Little contact on the back bumper. Slides him up the racetrack. 9-car right on the quarter panel here down into turn 3.
Hungry.
Oh man, the 9-car drives it deep into turn 3. Power move.
To the inside. Now Chase Elliott leading at Martinsville. Watch what happens to the 19. He'll drop below the cut line. Now Chase Elliott. He's up front.
He has that short run speed. He's showing it again today. On this run, Truex just doesn't have that speed to fire off like he wants to. He's talked about it.
Listen, Alex Bowman says, I haven't been up there yet today, but I want to join the fun. He's racing Joey Logano for the 3rd position. We can see more yellows, see more restarts. The 88 driving in deep. You see the front rotors glowing. And as all of these leaders battle, look at Keselowski and Harvick. 1 point apart, and they're leapfrogging through traffic. Currently, Keselowski in front of Harvick by 3 spots on the racetrack.
If they end up with the same amount of points, the nod would go to Kevin Harvick because he has a better finish in this round of 2nd at Kansas. Marty.
Martin Truex Jr., we talked about how important these pit crews are. He said to have a vibration like the right front is loose. Going to ride it out as much as he can. 41 to go. James Hall saying right now, just keep us posted as you bet. And Truex saying right now it's getting worse. There you go, roll turn. Feels like the right front is loose on the 19. Battling for a win and a shot to make the championship 4. And the pit crew may have left the right front loose on that stop.
talked about that battle back in the field with Keselowski and Harvick. Every position matters. Tight point battle. Watch Brad Keselowski. He just ships the 20 of Eric Jones getting into turn 3. This flat moves him out of the way for that spot.
What would you do for a championship? We're seeing it right now out of these drivers. Listen in to Alex Bowman's radio.
Okay, well, here's just a reminder, this guy's locked in. Take Kiki's advice. If it's there, take it. We're done playing nice.
There you have it. We're done playing nice. Now with 38 laps to go, 37 laps to go, everyone's done playing nice. Still one up on Harvick. Harvick was able to get by the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
So now Hamlin's +2. Brad's closing in on the back of the 88 car of Alex Bowman for another position. Harvick, he has about 8 car lengths to the 21 car. It's been about the same for them two over the last several circuits.
Who has a better car on the long run? They both have opportunities in front of them to pass 4 cars. I just don't know that Kevin's going to be able to pull this off.
Right in front of the 21 is 2 teammates for Harvick, the 14 and the 10. 2 more positions for Harvick if he can catch them.
And Chase Elliott, by the way, with a 4.5-second lead.
Yeah, that can't be lost on what's happening here. He's led 217 laps. He's been dominant today. Chase Elliott came into this race, a must-win situation. He's gone out. He's done exactly what he's had to do, even after his pit crew had some issues.
Yeah, I go back to that pit crew, that jack man. They went back and touched pit wall. That move has given the 9 this opportunity.
We're also looking forward to all the post-race action on NBCSN, NASCAR America post-race show. There'll be driver interviews there. And obviously you'll have disappointment after what's happening today, but elation if the 9 can stay out in front.
Tell you what, I have some concern for Denny Hamlin. The 20 has got to the rear bumper of the 11 car. I believe he's going to go by, and I think the 2 car has enough speed to get by the 88. That's going to move the 2 in front of the 11 in points if it can happen. You see the battle right here between teammates, and Jones is doing anything but racing him easy. He is trying to take this position, Marty.
I'll be shocked, Marty, if the 20 goes around the 11.
Well, and remember, Eric Jones is not invited back to Joe Gibbs Racing for 2021. He was told to move elsewhere. He'll move on to Richard Petty Motorsports and be in the 34 car. And Denny Hamlin is not happy with the way Eric Jones is racing him. He's saying, come on, cut me a break. Hamlin knows right now he's just +2 above the cut line, and he's been told, do not let the 4 out of your sight. So Hamlin wants his current teammate to cut him a little slack and help him make the championship 4.
So, Steve, you said last week you weren't a nice guy. Well, I'm going to say I'm not going to be a nice guy this week, because if they fired me, why do I care? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're out here for the best position you can get.
Eric's had a few opportunities and good runs on the corner exit to go to the inside of Denny and just hasn't chosen to do that. So I think he understands the situation Denny's in. Harvick has closed in on the back bumper of the 21 car for another position. Keselowski, there you see it at the bottom of the screen, has not been able to pass Alex. Keselowski's used that car up, as we know, coming through the field. Does he have enough tires left?
The thing that Hamlin has an advantage of, though, there's really nobody behind him. Even if Eric Jones gets by him, there's no pressure from behind right now. Nobody's coming.
That's true, but can these other guys continue to advance?
There you go.
What about Stewart? Yeah, the Stewart Haas Racing drivers. What if Kevin Harvick's able to get by them?
We don't show the leader of Chase Elliott because he's driven out to almost a 6-second lead. 5.5 comes in here in a must win and has, at this point, with 11 to go, laid the gauntlet down. Said, here I go. And what an impressive drive by the 9. We don't show it because he has a huge lead. It comes down to this points battle as long as something crazy doesn't happen to the 9.
Brad Keselowski again into the back bumper of the 88. Alex Bowman just can't get there.
He's going to make a shot right here, though, guys. Drives inside the 88. I think the 88 knows the desperation for the 2. He doesn't try to block.
Harvick 2 points down, 2 positions down now below the cut line.
That's a position for Brad. Then there's a long way, probably about 15 car lengths, 20 car lengths to the 22 of Logano for Brad.
There's Kevin Harvick working hard, trying to get by that 21 car, Matt DiBenedetto.
Chase Elliott, what a run. He's out front. 228 laps led, 8 to go here. A huge lead. Comes into this race. Must-win situation. He's doing everything he has to do to advance to the championship 4. And one of the strongest competitors all year may be eliminated. Kevin Harvick right now on the outside looking in.
7 laps to go. My gosh. It's got to be heartbreaking for this team to be in this position.
Marty.
They've told Kevin Harvick he is 2 out as he tries to go around Matt DiBenedetto. The problem is that Clint Boyer, his teammate, and now Kyle Busch, actually, who got passed by Boyer, is a little further up the racetrack. He's going to have to hustle if he's going to catch Kyle Busch to pass him for the next spot. But Kevin Harvick knows now he's 1 point out of the playoff.
Look at this right here. 1 point between them. If Harvick finds a position, we'll have a 3-way tie for the cut line. I'm going to let you do the math on that one, Rick, when it comes to the tiebreaker.
Well, right now he's got the advantage over Brad Keselowski. Denny Hamlin also, so it would go to Kevin Harvick.
All right, 5 laps to go. Denny's got his teammate behind him who hasn't been able to get by, but behind that is the 41 car, Cole Custer, the Stewart Haas teammate to Kevin Harvick, who's going to try to get by these Gibbs cars.
Less than 4 laps to go to determine who will be in the championship 4. Chase Elliott took matters into his own hands. He is out front. He's going to try to win his way into the championship 4.
What a great drive by Chase Elliott. In a pressure-filled situation, Chase Elliott with an opportunity to step up, a career-defining moment possibly.
Trying to make it into the championship 4 for the very first time. Under 2 laps to go.
I think Denny's in pretty good shape right here. Harvick working really hard to close the gap on the 18. He's down to 2 car lengths to Kyle Busch.
He's got to make the pass or someone has to go around the 11. The final lap for Chase Elliott. Down the backstretch for the final time. Chase Elliott through 3 and 4. He is going to win his way into the championship 4. Elliott wins at Martinsville. Can Harvick do it? The final turn. He needs the position.
Oh, Harvick spins the 18.
Turns into the 18. He turns as well. The 18 crosses the start-finish line, and Harvick is going to be out of the playoffs. The question was asked earlier, what would you do? What would you do to make it into the championship 4? We saw Kevin Harvick, that last turn effort, trying to get that 1 point that he needed, and it didn't work out.
Oh my gosh, biggest win ever for us. Just so proud. You know, there's not to be able to, be backed in the corner like that and have to win tonight. I feel like that's what we've been missing, these past 4 or 5 years to, perform when we don't have a choice. And to do that tonight was, couldn't ask for a better night. It's unreal. Thanks to the fans for coming out.
They're here, yeah.
Yeah, they are. Love to see it. Oh, trying to catch my breath, man. It's unbelievable. Going to Phoenix, shot to win a championship. Beautiful blue Napa Camaro. Headed out there with the shot to win a title. What more could you ask for?
Chase, when you had your car back in the pack just a little bit, a couple of miscues on pit road, what concerns did you have?
Yeah, I didn't think our car was driving as good there at the end as it was at the beginning of the race. But those last couple of pit stops made some really good changes, and had a good pit stop on the last one, had a good last restart, and that was the difference. So just huge thanks to everybody that makes this possible. This is unbelievable. Just a bit of a loss for words. Like I said, this is the piece we've been missing, and I feel like we've had the group to do this. We just have to go make it happen, and we did tonight.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.